to another Girlfriends Chit Chat. Y'all know how we do here. Welcome to our platform. We are so excited to have you. For you all who have never been to our platform before, here we talk about life, business, and trust me, a whole bunch of stuff in between. But we're excited about tonight's show, you all, because we have a phenomenal woman, of course, Miss Charmaine Pickens. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Y'all, a whole bunch of information we're going to talk about tonight because she is a wealth of information and as talented as she is as well. So, Charmaine, tell everybody about your girl.
Well, how y'all doing? I'm so excited to be here. It's my first talk show. So excited. My name is Charmaine Pickens. I am a Charlotte native. What can I say? I hate to say that I'm a jack of all trades, because if you're a jack of all trades, you're a master of none, right? So, but I engage in a lot of different things. But my loves, my passions are my businesses. So I am CEO of Sweet Pea Chic Baby Box Company, which is it's a custom baby box company that provides essential resources to expecting mothers.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of my side piece is Fertile Ground, which is my nonprofit. And that is an organization that caters towards women who are experiencing infertility issues. So women who are dealing with all things infertility, it's meant to be advocating for women. It's meant to be advocating for families who are struggling with this. And that kind of came out of my own journey with that. So, I'm very transparent with that. And then outside of that, I have my Fertile Ground podcast, which I'll talk about, that's where the real and raw takes place with infertility, talking about everything. And then, my music on the side. So, but that's kind of me in a nutshell.
When you can sing, I'm a shower singer. I sound good. But when you really have a talent to sing, there's so much ministry there.
There is.
And I think it goes really well with everything that you stand for when it comes to babies and fertility. And it's amazing the thing that music can do when it comes to that.
Yes. I agree. I think music is God's conveyor. It's the way that you reach souls. I've always believed that. I've been a believer all my life that whatever your talent is, that was given to you by God, whether that's with your hands, your voice, your mind, whatever that is. And just, you've got that nature, especially if you're an entrepreneur. I just feel like that's built in you, right?
Right.
That's built in your spirit. So it's going to always cover everything you do. If you're a servant, you're going to serve in every capacity.
That's true.
Your business.
That's true.
So I couldn't agree more.
Tell us how you got on the journey of fertility.
So my story with infertility probably now spans over a decade. My husband and I, we kind of started on our journey. I've been married for almost 9 years. We've been together almost 15 years. And probably a decade ago, you don't really think about it because, when you're married, you can do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, after a little bit, it's like, okay, well, nothing's happening. So what do we need to do? And then you realize, okay, really now nothing is really happening. So after kind of doing the research, talking to the doctors, you get into a space where you're, looking at what you can do to help you get pregnant. And long story short, here we are a decade later, I've had 8 pregnancies, 4 miscarriages and 3 ectopic pregnancies, which resulted in a tooth removal last year. So it's been a journey. And I felt like, Fertile Ground for me was an opportunity to share in that space with other women who are on that road, who didn't have the resources that they needed in the beginning, because you waste so much time. You know what I mean? Like, we still want to have a baby. We're getting ready to undergo IVF in a couple of months. So, and I'm 40.
But
with a 20-year-old.
But it's nothing wrong with it. You still have the desire to want to have a baby. It's nothing wrong with that. And if God will allow that to happen, which He will, it will happen. I just feel like everybody need to understand that everybody, if you want to be a mom, then that is a desire of your heart, and no one can come and tell you anything different.
That's correct. I'm not they'll talk about age all the time, but I tell women all the time, age is just a number. As long as you're healthy and you want to pursue that, if God has that for you and that's what you want, go get that. Go get that. So that's kind of where that came from. That came from that, and just my passion to want to help women not deal with what I dealt with. Especially for women of color, because infertility impacts women of color 2 times more than any other cultural group. So Black women are really, really impacted by infertility, and there are tons and tons of factors, that go into that. But we are the ones that struggle. And I think because it's been taboo in our households for so many years, come on, my people. We don't talk about it.
That's true. That's true.
So because we don't talk about it, we don't practice preventative care around it. We don't look at, women aren't vocal. They feel isolated. It carries guilt and shame. And I don't want women to have to deal with that. That's the whole purpose of Fertile Ground, is to break down that wall and say, listen, you are not by yourself. There are other women who are being impacted by this, and you have support here. So let's talk about it. Let's get you what you need.
I mean, that's so amazing you said that, because I was around the age of, I think I was 21 or 22. I was going to give my eggs away.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually, my husband and I were going through the process here in Charlotte to give my eggs away. And a lot of people say, oh my God, you're going to go through treatment, injections, preparing for extraction of my eggs being removed. And I was really nervous about it. I sat in a room with a whole bunch of women, and they went through the whole process and what it looked like. And it's so crazy, because people said, why would you want to do that at 21 years old? Why would you want to give your eggs away? They're like, well, it could be somebody local. No, but typically they go through the process of where your eggs come.
Right.
And they're not on the same coast. They're not in the same state. But I desire for other women to have children.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's no shame in that. People are like, because you give your eggs away. I've met women that have received eggs from other women.
Absolutely.
Their cousins, their sisters. I mean, they give those things because they want and desire for you to be a mom. And I think that is just amazing within itself.
Yeah.
And you have to be in a place of understanding that I want to do something to help another woman.
Yeah.
And if me giving you my eggs will help you become a mom, so be it.
That's it. It's like, felt that in my
right, because there's one in my life that I'm very, very close to. And she had twins at 40, right?
See?
But she did have to go through IVF.
Yes.
And she still has eggs, and it's a decade later.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know what to do with them, because she is very particular about what happens to them.
Right.
And so she's thinking, do I do surrogacy? I told her about your foundation too, but she's thinking all of that, and hearing it from that perspective, because she's not selfish at all, but hearing it from that perspective is kind of like, wow, because there are women who I always desired to be a mom. I had God kids before I ever became a mother, because I was always somebody's mama.
Right.
Now today,
you somebody's mama.
I'm somebody's mama.
Somebody's mama. Somebody's mama.
I don't know where the God kids. But the desire was always there, and I know for women, and like even now at this age, there are a lot of women in their 40s that are they want this and they want it bad.
Yeah, and you're starting to see more of that, because I talk to a girlfriend of mine all the time about this, because she's in the dating pool and trying to figure out, but she also wants a family, on the other side of 40. Do I just go out and just do it by myself, or do I wait on God to bring that man of purpose into my life so that I can have that? Because what I really want is the family.
Right.
But and I want a husband to leave my house. I want my family. I don't want to have to do it by myself. But do I have the time to wait? To wait on God. And I'm like, he brought you this far.
Sarah waited.
But my thing is, a lot of times, but who wants to do it alone?
Yes.
Who wants to raise a child? You got single parents, single moms that are out there saying, no, you don't want to do that alone. You don't want to do that alone. And then what are you going to do? Select a man that's going to donate his sperm to you, and then you don't have a father figure, but he gave you a gift, which is wonderful. Thank you very much. But then there's no father figure attached to that.
And you don't want your gift to become a burden.
Exactly. I mean, I'm all for women going out and doing what you feel like you need to do. But again, it's hard. It's true. Before I met my husband, I was a single mom. My daughter's 20 now. Lord have mercy. But
You're not alone. Mine 19.
just dropped off in college. Okay, yesterday.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't
There's
nothing
nothing wrong
look,
with it.
living their best life.
Living their best life. Don't even know they living their best life either.
Say it again. Say it again.
Living her best life, honey. But I felt, like I told her, I said, I just give it some time. You've got to have patience with God. You can't expect him to have patience with you and you don't have patience with him.
You can't run out of trust.
Yeah.
That's important. Trust me, trust. Because it's hard to trust what you cannot see.
That's
right.
True.
Yeah.
That's so true. But my question is how do you feel about surrogacy?
I'm not opposed to surrogacy because, and I'll tell you why, because I've interviewed a lot of women who just physically cannot have a child.
That's okay.
And I feel like you want to be a mother. And you and your husband, y'all, this is what you want. You want your family. You want to expand your legacy. And I'm all for that. There are women who are born with the ability to not have children, or have gone through journeys like mine, and now you just can't, or your life would be in danger if you tried. Right. So I'm all for that. If that's what you want to do, just do your research. Yeah. Understand what you're getting yourself into is what I would say. But I'm all for that. This journey is not for the weak. And you've got to be, and that's the problem with it, is because you're not prepared for it. It impacts you mentally, physically, emotionally. Yes. It takes more than it gives. And when you look up, there were days, like with my last miscarriage, I had a son that I had in 2004. I lost him at 5 months from SIDS. My last miscarriage was on the day that I lost my son. Wow. Things like that you endure, and you have to be built, which is another reason why I don't want women to have to endure that by themselves. You don't have to do that by yourself, because it's hard. Miscarriages, they're hard. Ectopic pregnancies, they can be life-threatening. They're difficult. Trying to get to being a mama, period, is just hard.
It's a process.
It's work. It's a process. Getting there, once you get there, it's a process.
It's more of a process. It is, and we are very strong creatures. God made us perfect in every way.
Yes. Forward tough.
Forward tough. I say that all the time. But that's the truth. We can. He never gives you more than you can bear.
I believe that totally and completely.
And that's why we, why we have things like this, why we have to really lean into each other, for the support. And that's kind of what I want to be able to give that. I want to be able to share that.
How do you mentally prepare? As you said, you have to be prepared for this.
Yeah.
How do you prepare? Like, how do you say, okay, I'm going to do this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Regardless of.
Well, knowing is half the battle.
Yes.
Knowing is half the battle. And I feel like, you can be prepared. A lot of times when you first embark on these journeys and you're talking to your doctor, you don't know what questions to ask.
No, you don't.
You don't know what is really happening with you. So you really have to be an advocate for yourself. You got to educate yourself. You have to talk to your doctor, ask the hard questions. If you don't know, ask. So that you can prepare. Because honestly speaking, you're never going to be prepared for the outcomes of infertility. If you're dealing with infertility treatments, it's more than likely you're going to have a miscarriage. It's more than likely that you're going, and every time you have one, your percentage to have another raises higher. Wow. So, if I got pregnant right now, the likelihood that it would be ectopic would probably be something like 75%.
Wow.
Because every time you have a miscarriage, every time you have an ectopic, that percentage to have another raises. So you have to know what you're getting yourself into. You have to educate yourself so that you can be prepared. And then, the honest truth is just to stay in prayer. Because with every one of those situations, you learn more about yourself, every time. And even for me with that, like my husband, it's hard to isolate within. not think about what he's dealing with.
Right.
Not think about what my partner is dealing with, or
Right.
what my husband or what my wife is engaging. You don't, it's hard, but you have to also understand, if you're like in my situation with my husband, if I'm going through it, so is he. And it's even more difficult for him because not only does he feel like I got to be strong for myself, but now I got to be strong for my wife too, because I don't want her to see me, weak in that moment. So it's you never really can prepare, but you can know more so that you understand. All right, I'm going through this, but I understand why. What is happening to me.
Because that miracle baby getting ready to show
It's
up.
getting ready to happen.
That baby coming.
That baby coming.
It's coming. It's coming. Y'all just.
And then you probably end up with more than one.
Yeah.
You get ready to do some multiples.
Please understand, IVF will give you twins. They give you triplets. Okay,
if
so
you opt for that,
and the older you get, the more when you go through that, it's more like fertile, right?
Yeah, it's you, and you have that option when you're going through IVF. That doctor is going to say, okay, we took out 3 eggs. We fertilized 3. You want to put back 2, or you want to put back 1? And of course, every woman is thinking, well, 2, I'm gonna have higher chance. 2, because IVFs are not guaranteed, right? So there's only maybe a 50% chance that you get pregnant on an IVF. So if you're saying, okay, what if I do 1 egg and it doesn't go, and I don't get pregnant, and I just paid all this money, $20,000 for an IVF procedure for one not to work, when you could have did 2 transfers, and you might also get twins. And then you have some women that be like, I'm just going to put all 3.
Well, then think about it this way: it's 20,000. You get 10,000 per baby. There you go. You try to bring it down. Now let me tell you something. Don't get scared of the dollar sign, y'all, because if this is the desire of your heart, there's no dollar sign.
Yeah.
You can't see money in this aspect because you can say, well, I already have kids, and you can't relate. That's the problem. So you have to be able to understand she's in a place that she wants a baby. So does her husband. So now together they're saying, look, let's do this.
And there are resources out there that are available. Don't get discouraged because you can't afford it. There are things out there, just, why I started program too, to add that financial component so that I can help women with that.
I love that.
So that if it costs you, $20,000, we can at least get enough in our grant endowment to say, all right, we'll take care of half, or we'll give out $1,000 a year that allows one family to be able to do that. There are resources out there. There are tons of organizations that can support you in that effort. So don't get discouraged.
Now, in regards to your organization, tell us a little bit how that came about and how that can help women in regards to support as well as finding grants and assistance.
Mm-hmm. Well, Fertile Ground, our mission is to advocate for you. So if you're looking for resources for infertility support, doctors to go to, especially if you're in the city of Charlotte, we can support you with that. We're building up our endowment so that we can give away financial resources to women and support reproductive assistance. And then, of course, we just launched our Charlotte chapter, which is really geared just towards support. It's really geared toward creating kind of a camaraderie amongst women that brings in resources, speakers, other women who have gone through the journey, or who maybe are dealing with it now, or who've had success with it, just to give them a place to just a sanctuary, if you will, somewhere you can go and you have other people there, other women there that you can relate to. Network with, get an IVF buddy partner, or talk to someone about what you're dealing with emotionally, mentally. We want to have peace therapy sessions at our meetings where we have a counselor that will come in and just hear. It's just a place for you to speak, and deal with the emotions that come with it, because it's tough. It is. So that's the purpose of Fertile Ground. I want women to be able to attach yourself to it, come in and get what you need for your personal, your walk, whatever that may be. And we're going to be here to provide you with all those resources. So just connect with us.
See, that's what you need, y'all. And in any organization, it's like I walked the journey. I've been there. And then to create an organization that allows you to get the help, the support, the guidance, to get a partner, a buddy partner that can say, let's walk this walk together. Yeah. So you don't walk it alone. So in those times when you need somebody to talk to, you have somebody you can call.
Exactly.
So I think that's truly amazing. So tell everybody how they can connect with you, your organization.
You can follow us. We're on Facebook. It's Fertile Ground Foundation Charlotte. We're on Instagram, the FG Foundation. And of course, if you're looking for baby boxes, you can always go to sweetpeachic.com or follow us on Instagram at sweetpeachico. And then on, let's see, did I give everything? Fertile Ground is thefgfoundation.org. So please check us out, follow us, reach out. I make myself available at all times. And we'll be here to support you in whatever your need is. That's like my husband says, from first bumps to first jumps.
I love
that.
that.
Oh,
I love that.
So that's what we're here for.
That's amazing.
Good.
That's amazing.
You're gonna change so many lives.
You are.
I hope so. God willing, I can help save some women a lot of heartache, a lot of pain, a lot of time. So we gonna, God is still
We're gonna get these
babies
here.
That's right. Get the babies here.
It's a season for sowing. So let's get it.
All right. Well, I thank everybody again for being a part of the Girlfriends Chit Chat Show. Thank you for being a part. We look forward to seeing you again next Friday. You all have a great one. Good night. That's amazing.